get when you mix beans, bottles, glitter, and lots of silly noises. You guys, if you are the parent or the teacher of a child with special needs, you know that this is the perfect recipe for a good time. Now, I'm not talking about a party, I'm talking about sensory time, and specifically sensory play. Today, we are going to be talking about sensory play. What are the benefits and what are the best toys that you can get for your kids or classroom for $5 or less? If this sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you stop right there, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's get started. Okay guys, I need to let you in on a little secret. Sensory play isn't really that complicated. It's actually just play that stimulates a child's senses. But we can keep that a secret. Shh. Sensory play encourages a child to use their senses while they're playing, creating, learning, and exploring. You guys, it makes the learning process so much easier, especially for kids on the autism spectrum. And I'll tell you why. Individuals on the autism spectrum, their brains tend to work a little bit differently than ours do, which is okay, because remember, our kids are different, not less. I like that they think differently, which means we have to adapt the way that we teach and the way that we modify things so that we can help them to live their best lives. So let's go into the 5 senses and how they actually help when we're talking about sensory play. So we have sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell. Okay, you guys, so when it comes to sight, toys might be brightly colored or have lights that flash if that's not a trigger for your child. If your child has epilepsy, you should avoid toys that have flashing lights because we don't want to trigger any seizures at all. Then we have touch, how the toy feels. Is it textured? Is it bumpy? Is it slimy? Is it stretchy? Is it dry? There's so many different type of textures and kids like different things. Find what texture toy is best for your child and move on from there. There's taste. There's hearing. How does the toy sound? Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it high pitch? Is it low pitch? Is it music? Is it naggy? Is it alerting? Is it calming? There are many different sounds that a toy can make. You guys, and then there's smell. Yes, kids' toys actually do have scents. Now, I'm not talking about all of them, but there are some toys that are specifically made to give off a certain aroma to help the kids either calm down or perk up. Like you might be able to go and find some teddy bears. I've actually seen them that have more of a lavender, a calming smell. Now, if your child is sensitive to smells, I don't recommend those, but I wanted to give you an idea. Sensory play actually hits all of the senses. So, which one does your child need? This is actually going to be a trial and error type of situation. Some kids like things that others don't like. Your child might not like the touch of a toy that's kind of scratchy and bumpy versus your other child might love it. So you guys have to try and see what works. There are so many different options and I'm going to actually show you those today. You guys, now that you understand what sensory play actually is, which is just a way to wake up a child's brain and body through play that activates the senses, we need to take a trip to one of my favorite places. You guys, this might as well be super close to heaven. This store has a place in my heart very near and dear to Starbucks, but that's not what we're here for today. You guys, we are taking a trip to my local Five Below. Five Below is a great store in my community that sells things for $5 or less, but they do have a couple items that are over $10. But today, we are just going to be looking specifically at the things that are cheaper. Now, just so you know, I am not an affiliate. I am not paid to make this video, and Five Below basically doesn't even know that I exist. But you know what? One day, I'm believing that will all change, but who cares? They have an amazing sensory section, you guys. Take a look at what I found when I went into their store. They have quite a bit, but let's start with the sensory bin. It comes with a package of sand, some little beads that actually spilled out inside the container. We have some hard little critters here, and then we also have some turtles, crabs, and sea animals for your child to play with. Lots of different textures. Next, we have our glow tubes and our stretchy jelly noodles. The glow tubes are a fan favorite. These work on bilateral coordination. You can twist them, turn them, pull them apart, and push them back together. This is a good one for your kids who really want to keep busy with their hands. Up next, we have our jelly noodles. These are very, very stretchy and squishy, and they honestly feel fun to play with. You can stretch them and they don't break very easily. This is another fan favorite. Our next items are our foam popper topper and our sensory suction pals. We have a slinky and our glow snap links. All good manipulatives, you guys, but I didn't open these because I'm gonna regift them. Looking at this banana toy, very fun, very hard to squeeze, and it actually gave me a cramp in my hand. After shaking out that hand cramp, guys, we opened the next toy, which were a couple different balls. Remember, kids like different textures. You'll have to play with these and see what works best for your child. One is bumpy, one is pointy, and one has little craters in it. All fun to play with, and you can use these for different things during the day. Finishing up the lineup, we have a Poppet, which is everyone's favorite. Look at how cute this Christmas tree is. And a kaleidoscope toy. You twist it and turn it, and the colors change with each twist. After that, we have a Poppet and a fidget spinner combo on the left. And on the right, we have a bun toy. Super squishy, super quiet, and it actually feels really good in my hand. Finishing up the lineup, we have 2 shaker toys, a slinky, and some pencil toppers. I recommend these for my older kids who want to fidget without seeming like they have a toy in their hand. Do you guys remember that crazy phase when all the fidget spinners came out? I mean, everybody and their mama and their grandma and their grandpa and their cousin and their dog had one. And if you got one, they then made one that was bigger, better, and faster. You guys, they even started bringing these into the schools, and a lot of schools said, "Nuh-uh, you can't bring these here anymore," because they started to be more of a distraction than some good. I feel like all we needed in that situation was this education that I'm giving you here today. Fidgets. What in the world is a fidget? Is it just a fidget spinner or a Poppet or some type of little thing I can give my kiddo so they can do this in school? That's not going to keep them on task, you guys. If anything, it's going to veer them more off track, because it's going to be a distraction for the other students unless you have one for everybody. But is that your responsibility? No. You send your child to school so that they can get their education and they can go out and do their best and be their best. I hear you. But I want to tell you this. What fidgets are actually for are an outlet for emotions. So a lot of times, let's say if our kiddos are anxious or hyperactive, they want to bounce around, they want to move, they can't sit still. That is when you might be able to use a fidget if you don't have other resources available. So things like a fidget spinner or a Poppet can be used in that instance. There is a time and a place. The way that it works is when that child is feeling all these emotions bottled up on the inside. I need to move. I'm trying to sit at my desk. This is too much. Somebody help. That is when they can use a fidget and take all that. There's nothing here. But if I were spinning a fidget spinner right now, that is when they can take this and spin. All that they're feeling on the inside, they can use their hands as an outlet and do it quietly under their desk. Or if they just need a little bit type of a different sensory input or different type of sensory play, if this isn't the right motion that their body needs to calm down and regulate that emotion, a Poppet can do the same thing, just in more of a rhythmic manner. We're popping, it's not loud like bubble wrap, it's not distracting, it's right there, it's quiet. And you guys, they even make them in the forms of bracelets, they have them in necklaces. I've even seen a Poppet headband for the girls. So there are several different options. Fidgets are an outlet for emotions. So your child can flick, they can pop, they can press. It sounds like I'm talking about boogers, but I'm not. But you could flick, pop. Ooh, I gotta wash my hands. Hold on. You guys, when done correctly, sensory play helps with emotional regulation. Your child is able to use that emotional outlet in a different way by playing with a toy that activates a different part of their brain. Depending on the exact toy and the type of sensory play is also able to help with fine motor skill development, depending on exactly what your child is doing. Don't worry, I'll make a video all on what the world fine motor is coming up in the future. Sensory play also helps to build nerve connects in your child's brain. So you guys, there are so many different things that sensory play can do and so many benefits that it can have for each child, but they'll be different depending on the child and depending on the type of play. So when should you actually be doing sensory play? How long should we be doing sensory play for? Like, who's gonna help me with all this? Hey, take a deep breath. Do you need a Poppet? Now, this all depends on your child, on your schedule, and all that you do during your day, but don't stress. You guys, whenever you have free time, I say just take 10-15 minutes. We want to gradually expose your kids to different textures, because if we go too fast, too far, too soon, we might end up traumatizing them and we might end up doing another video on not going too fast when we're trying to teach our kids things. But I challenge you, take 10 minutes. If you're able to, go to Five Below and get out some of these textures and try something with your child. My favorite item is going to be like the sand sensory box. Michael's has one that's similar that I'll do a comparison review on, but this one is literally the same thing for literally a quarter of the price. Have your kids plan it. How do they act when they touch this grainy sand texture? Do they want the one with Orbeez? Do they like wet or dry? You guys, a lot of times you'll notice if your child has issues with touching different textures, they may also have issues, not saying they all will, but a lot of those children also commonly have issues with things like tags in their shirts or their socks feeling funny on their feet, which may cause a meltdown. So just kind of note your responses, and if you see anything, let me know down in the comments below. But I need to tell you this. If you feel like you need more understanding on sensory, since today we went on sensory play, you can't watch this video without watching this one, where I'm telling you all about what sensory is, so you can find out if your child is an over or an under responder. I'll see you there. Bye.